But at this moment, something unimaginable occurred, demonstrating that victory doesn't always rely on strength. Wisdom and planning can achieve the same. Tang San proved this to all the soul masters on the battlefield through his actions. A figure appeared before Tang San like a moth to a flame, blocking him completely. This person was tall, shielding Tang San entirely behind them. If the turtle shell shield aimed at Tang San, this person would bear the brunt first. The one who appeared suddenly in front of Tang San was none other than the captain of the Emperor battle team, the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Soul, Master Yu Tianheng. How could this be? This was the first thought in the minds of all the members of the Emperor battle team. They soon realized Yu Tianheng's situation. Of course, Yu Tianheng would not help Tang San block his own teammates' attack. Even if he wanted to, given his current physical condition, he couldn't possibly have enough speed to reach Tang San in time. All of this was part of Tang San's plan, a seed sown at the start of the team battle. Yu Tianheng's body was tightly bound by blue-silver grass, forcibly pulled in front of Tang San as a human shield. From the initial clash, Yu Tianheng had already fallen into Tang San's trap, sustaining severe injuries under the joint attack of the Shrek Seven Devils. The initial binding by Tang San's blue-silver grass was the prelude. With 3 spirit rings, the blue-silver grass had 3 spirit abilities. Entangling was undoubtedly the most practical, and spider web restraint was the most domineering. However, the seemingly less significant second spirit ability was crucial here. This scene was orchestrated by Tang San's second spirit ability, parasitic. Although Yu Tianheng had recovered his fighting power with the help of the 9-heart begonia soul master Yi Lingling, the seeds of the blue-silver grass had silently parasitized on him when he was previously entangled. The activation of the second spirit ability was entirely under Tang San's control. When Tang San turned to launch the spider web restraint at the Wind Bell Bird Soulmaster, he simultaneously activated the parasitic seeds on Yu Tianheng, using his blue-silver grass to pull him in front of him. Yu Tianheng was too weak at this moment. If he were in peak condition, he wouldn't need Thunder Fury to break free from the blue-silver grass. But now, he couldn't. Tang San controlled not only the battlefield, but also the hearts of his opponents. With nearly 40 years of experience from 2 lifetimes, he possessed wisdom far beyond his 13 years. Despite his anger over Xiao Wu's injury, he knew from past crises in the Stardow Forest that anger solved nothing. Only constant calmness allowed one to see every change on the battlefield. If the turtle shell shields thrown by the 2 black tortoise soul masters couldn't be retracted, Tang San wouldn't have acted as he did. A weakened Yu Tianheng was no match for their attack, only adding another casualty. But from previous fights, Tang San saw their shields could be retracted, leading to the current scene. Sure Mo and Sure Mo saw their attack about to hit Tang San, but Yu Tianheng appeared suddenly. Shocked, they instinctively pulled back their turtle shell shields with all their might, changing direction to avoid their captain. However, their all-out attack made the shields extremely heavy and infused with their immense soul power. It wasn't easy to retract them. Though strong, the 2 brothers hadn't yet reached the level of perfect control. Forcing the shields to change direction, the brothers managed to divert them at the last moment, missing Yu Tianheng and flying to the sides. The misplaced force made the brothers cough up blood. In that instant, a figure darted out from behind Yu Tianheng, reaching them in a flash. It was Tang San, his eyes gleaming with blood-red light. Tang San's actions were fluid. Retracting the spider web restraint, pulling Yu Tianheng, and then using his 8 spider lances to spring forward in a powerful leap. Standing at the Shrek Seven Devils entrance, the Grandmaster showed a satisfied glimmer in his eyes, murmuring, controlling the battlefield, allies, enemies, and hearts. Xiao San, you have finally grasped the essence of a control system soul master. The moment Tang San leaped with the 8 spider lances, the Grandmaster knew the team battle was over. Without the vital turtle shell protection, even 2 black tortoise soul masters couldn't withstand Tang San's 8 spider lances. The purple 8 spider lances stretched out in mid-air, their tips like 8 cold stars, stabbing towards the 2 black tortoise soul masters. With their turtle shells out, soul power backfiring, and lacking speed, the Black Tortoise Soul Masters had no choice but to endure. They shouted in unison, punching towards Tang San in the air with all their might, their soul power bursting out, sending a brown light skyward. The Black Tortoise Soul Master's soul power was as solid as their turtle shells, but unfortunately, it was less than half of their strength. Using soul skills exhausted them, leaving them far from their best state. As an external spirit bone, the 8 spider lances increased Tang San's attack power by 50% when used, and their sharpness was unmatched. If the turtle shells were still present, the Black Tortoise Soul Masters might have blocked them, but there was no time to retrieve them now. The purple light pierced through the brown soul power with explosive force. The sharp 8 spider lances gave the opponents no chance. Precisely controlled, the 8 lances pierced the shoulders and forearms of the 2 Black Tortoise Soul Masters. Without pausing, Tang San used the lances to push off the ground again, launching himself towards the Jade Phosphor Serpent Soul Master Duguyen. With a hum, the turtle shells returned to the Black Tortoise Soul Masters, merging into their bodies as yellow light, but they couldn't stand. Purple energy surged from their arms, causing violent spasms. The 8 spider lances carried the lethal poison of the man-faced demon spider, far more potent than the blue silvergrass toxin. Despite not hitting vital points, the 2 Black Tortoise Soul Masters suffered the worst injuries among the Emperor battle team. Seeing the purple 8 spider lances descending, Duguyan's eyes filled with fear. Before the battle, she never imagined they could lose, but now, facing Tang San, she had no will to fight. Her strongest 3rd spirit skill was easily broken by Tang San. As a poison-based fighter, how could she continue to fight him? All she could do was release another puff of poison mist. The strange purple light on the 8 spider lances absorbed the purple poison mist she sprayed out, consuming it instantly. 4 of the 8 spider lances landed, supporting Tang San's body, while 2 of them pierced Duguyan's snake tail, lifting her into the air. At this point, all the Emperor battle team's capable fighters were incapacitated. The 9-heart begonia soul master Yilingling showed fear in her eyes. Though her healing skill was powerful, she couldn't restore soul power or neutralize the 8 spider lances' terrifying poison. Put her down, we surrender. Seeing Duguyen lifted by Tang San's 8 spider lances, Yu Qianheng's heart clenched. He saw the Black Tortoise Soul Masters' arms swelling with purple energy, their faces turning purple, seemingly on the brink of death. With a flick of the lances, Tang San tossed Duguyen aside, ignoring Yu Qianheng, directing the lances towards Yilingling. Heal our people. Shao San, detoxify them first. At this moment, the Grandmaster's timely voice reached Tang San, making him pause. The 8 spider lances induced intense ferocity, making his attacks more savage but not controlling his mind. Hearing the Grandmaster, Tang San's anger subsided, blue silver grass spreading out, pulling the Black Tortoise Soul Masters and Duguyen in front of him. The 8 spider lances pierced them again. The Grandmaster intervened because he knew the severe toxicity of the 8 spider lances. In such intense combat, Tang San clearly hadn't held back. Any delay could lead to their direct death, just like the tree that tested the lances before. The character Duguyen was herself a poison master and had some resistance to the toxins of the 8 spider lances. However, the situation for the 2 Xuanwu Turtle Soul Masters was extremely dangerous. Without the Master's reminder, even Tang San wouldn't have been able to save them after a short while. When Tang San absorbed the poison from the 8 spider lances, he was secretly shocked because the toxins had already penetrated the 2 men's heart meridians. However, while treating his opponents, Tang San didn't forget his original intention. Besides pulling the 3 who were pierced by the 8 spider lances closer to him, he also wrapped another blue silvergrass around Yilingling, pulling her to him as well. Since Tang San was using the 8 spider lances to support himself, Yilingling naturally ended up with her feet off the ground, coming before him. Yilingling wore a black veil over her face, and now that they were closer, Tang San discovered that this mysterious support-type soul master had a pair of extremely beautiful large eyes. Her gaze was clear, without any impurities, and her long eyelashes slightly curled upwards, giving her a somewhat speaking look when she blinked. Save my companions, otherwise, they will still die. Tang San's voice was very calm, without any coldness or emotion mixed in. But this calmness left an extremely deep imprint on Yilingling's heart. What kind of man was this? His voice sounded somewhat tender, yet his methods were so formidable. Control, attack, poison. Today's battle, rather than saying the Huangdo team lost to the Shrek 7 Devils, it would be more accurate to say they lost to him alone. Yilingling didn't make a sound. Amid her panic, she reluctantly gathered her soul power, and the light and shadow of the 9-heart begonia flew out, gently covering Xiao Wu's body. As the toxins were extracted from the 2 Xuanwu turtle soulmasters and Dugu Yen, Tang San looked up at the air where the white dove soulmaster and host, Dodo, was already stunned. Shouldn't you announce the result of this soul fight? Dodo only then seemed to wake from a dream. She didn't dare to meet Tang San's gaze and hurriedly announced, Team battle soul fight, Shrek 7 Devils win. There were no cheers. Oscar and Ma Hongjun stepped forward and fed sausages to Xiao Wu, Dai Mubai, and Zhu Zhuqing. The poison mist on the soul fighting platform gradually dissipated, and the soul masters from both sides were somewhat silent. Although the battle had ended, they still stared at their opponents. Tang San didn't retract his 8 spider lances. His gaze remained on Xiao Wu, watching as her wounds quickly healed with the help of the 9-heart begonia, and he finally breathed a sigh of relief. When Ning Rongrong helped Xiao Wu up from the ground, she looked fine except for her pale complexion. Only then did Tang San release the blue silvergrass and spider web restraints on the Huangdo team members. The 8 spider lances sprang, sending him to his companions. Dai Mubai gave Tang San a complicated look. Xiao San, it seems you only transform into an Azura when Xiao Wu is in danger. Tang San's gaze had softened, the red light in his eyes fading quietly. He looked at Xiao Wu with concern, and she nodded gently to indicate she was okay. It was only then that the Shrek 7 Devils realized they had truly defeated their formidable opponents. Under their masks, their faces revealed a touch of a smile. For them, this team battle soul fight had been unprecedentedly difficult and had pushed them to their limits. Tang San's 8 spider lances and the martial soul fusion skill of Dai Mubai and Zhu Zhuqing were key to turning the tide. Of course, Tang San's controllability, as the team soul, had been displayed to the fullest in this battle. Without such precise control, victory would not have belonged to them. On the other side, the Huangdo team members gathered together with mutual support. Each of them looked grim, especially Yu Tianheng and the 2 Xuanwu turtle soul masters, whose faces were so dark they seemed about to drip water. Yu Tianheng gazed at the Shrek 7 Devils, meeting Dai Mubai's eyes. This was not the first time they had exchanged looks, but this time the situation was entirely different. You are very strong. But we didn't entirely lose to you, Yu Tianheng said. Dai Mubai replied calmly, that's right. Your cooperation had flaws. Otherwise, who would have won this soul fight is still unknown. Yu Tianheng's strength earned Dai Mubai's respect. Such a strong opponent of the same level was something he had never encountered before. As the captain of the Huangdo team, Yu Tianheng had borne the brunt of most of the Shrek 7 Devils' attacks, but had fought till the very end. Although the Huangdo team lost this soul fight, Dai Mubai understood that the blue lightning tyrant dragon hadn't lost to his evil-eyed white tiger. Yu Tianheng sighed inwardly and nodded to Dai Mubai. I hope we have the chance to fight again in the future. By then, we won't have any flaws. Dai Mubai smiled slightly. The victory will still be ours. Their gazes clashed again, sparking a series of invisible sparks. Yu Tianheng took a deep breath and then said to his teammates supporting him, let's go. The 7 of them, with somewhat staggering steps, slowly headed towards the Soul Master entrance. Their defeated backs looked a bit thin. The Jade Phosphorus Snake Soul Master, Dugu Yen, suddenly stopped, turning to look at Tang San, who was retracting his 8 spider lances. Your poison is formidable, even breaking through my snake venom. I will forever remember today's humiliation. One day, I will make you fall to my snake venom. Tang San looked at her calmly and replied indifferently, I'll be waiting. Along with Dugu Yen, the 9-heart begonia soul master, Yi Lingling, also turned back. Unlike Dugu Yan's eyes filled with hatred, Yi Lingling's gaze was filled with a special light of awe. She looked at Tang San deeply, wanting to say something, but in the end, she didn't. Turning around, she followed her teammates. Watching their departing backs, Dai Mubai suddenly laughed, We won. Oscar chuckled and handed everyone a big recovery sausage. Yes, we won. The 7 of them looked at each other, each extending their right hand. The Shrek 7 devils, 7 hands stacked in the air, chewing Oscar's sausages, the joy of victory and their friendship bursting forth at this moment. At this moment, applause rang out, transmitted through the special amplifying equipment from all the VIP rooms. The Shrek 7 Devils performance had won the hearts of all the VIP guests present. Although the audience wasn't large, this appropriate applause was the perfect ending to this intense team battle soul fight. Qin Ming had been standing at the entrance, waiting for his disciples to come one by one. He had a faint smile on his face. In his view, this might be a very good outcome. I'm sorry, Teacher Qin, we lost. Yu Tianheng stopped before Qin Ming, lowering his once proud head. Qin Ming said nothing, just quietly watched him. Yu Tianheng was his most prized disciple and his pride. Yu Tianheng continued, Today's defeat is entirely my fault. I didn't command well, I went in alone and fell into the opponent's trap. If you want to punish someone, punish me. Qin Ming was not a gentle person. On the contrary, he was extremely strict when educating his disciples, often imposing heavy punishments. And no, Captain, this isn't your fault. Who could have thought the opponent would be so cunning? The Black Panther Soul Master Oslo hurriedly defended Yu Tianheng. Yu Tianheng sighed lightly, shaking his head, No, Oslo. Cunning is also a part of strength. Losing is losing. Despite having superior soul power and soul rings, we still lost, which only proves we made too many mistakes in this soul fight. Tianheng, even if there were mistakes, they weren't yours. It's me, as the control-type soul master and the team soul, I am the battlefield commander. It's my fault for not commanding everyone well. Dugu Yen had rarely cried. Her 20 years of life had been smooth sailing. Her rare poison control ability, strong background, and powerful soul power among her peers had always placed her at the top of the pyramid. Today's defeat hit her harder than anyone else, and at this moment, tears of humiliation flowed from her eyes. The 2 Xuanwu Turtle Soul Masters remained silent. Yufeng wanted to say something but was stopped by Qin Ming's raised hand. To you, this may be a defeat, but it's a good thing, Qin Ming said with a smile, his tone devoid of the harshness the Huangdo team members expected. Yu Tianheng was stunned for a moment, looking at Qin Ming, and then he seemed to understand something. Oslo couldn't help but ask, Teacher Qin, we lost so badly. Why is it a good thing? Qin Ming said calmly, because everything you've experienced has been too smooth. Although you faced setbacks today, none of you suffered irreversible damage. If this setback happened in the future, you might have to pay with your lives to understand all this. Failure isn't terrible. What's terrible is not learning from failure. I think you have found some of your mistakes. Next time you face such opponents, you will become stronger. The Shrek 7 Devils defeated you, but they also awakened you. Each of you has innate talent. I only have one sentence for you. Speaking of this, he paused, his gaze sweeping over all the members of the Emperor battle team. Grow through failure. Grow through failure. The members of the Emperor battle team echoed Qin Ming's words. Qin Ming waved his hand. You all go back and rest now. Recover as quickly as possible. I still have to meet a few people. With that, Qin Ming turned and strode away. In stark contrast to the Emperor battle team's gloom, when the Shrek Seven Devils walked up to Grandmaster, Flender, and Zhao Wuji amidst the applause, their eyes were filled with irrepressible excitement. Grandmaster exchanged a glance with his disciple Tang San, and from Grandmaster's eyes, Tang San saw satisfaction. Receiving his teacher's approval was more important to Tang San than the audience's applause. Grandmaster did not hold back his praise. Excellent, you have won. You have not only defeated your opponents, but also yourselves. Today's team battle spirit fight counts as an exam in the second phase of your trials, and you have all passed my test with flying colors. Oscar chuckled. Grandmaster, does that mean we get a vacation when we go back? Flender frowned. You kids shouldn't get too complacent. Can't you see how lucky today's victory was? In terms of raw strength, you are not the Emperor battle team's match. Oscar replied, but, Dean, I remember you once taught us that luck is also a part of strength. Have you forgotten? You cheeky brat, humph. Flender, though scolding Oscar verbally, was actually even more excited than Grandmaster. Shrek Academy was his persistence, his lifelong persistence. And now, he finally saw the most outstanding batch of students in Shrek Academy's history. He believed that in less than 20 years, these children before him would bring a storm to the entire Dolua continent's spirit master world, a real storm. Zhao Wuji laughed. All right, Flender, no need to be so stern. The kids have worked hard enough. Grandmaster, don't you think it's time to let them rest? Grandmaster nodded slowly. Yes, they should rest. This time, you get a half-month vacation. You can do whatever you want. Then I'll consider when to start the third phase of the trials. What? There's a third phase. Except for Tang San, the other 6 exclaimed simultaneously. Grandmaster gave them a flat look, his face returning to its usual sternness. What? Any objections? No, of course not. Grandmaster, you are the wisest. Not to mention the third phase, we can handle the fourth and fifth phases too, Oscar hurriedly replied. The others secretly wiped their sweat. They had to admit, Grandmaster's training methods were highly effective, but the suffering they had to endure was not something anyone wanted to revisit. The first and second trials had been so tough, what would the third phase be like? At this moment, someone walked over slowly. Before the person arrived, his voice came first. Dean Flender, Vice Dean Zhao Wuji. How are you? Disciple Qin Ming pays his respects. It was Qin Ming, the instructor of the Emperor battle team. He quickly stepped forward and knelt on one knee before Flender and Zhao Wuji. At this moment, he was no longer as calm as he had been when leading the Emperor battle team. His eyes were full of excitement. Flender adjusted his crystal glasses. I thought you had forgotten us long ago. Zhao Wuji helped Qin Ming up, looking him up and down, laughing. Good kid, you're getting better. It won't be long before you catch up with us old folks. Qin Ming stood respectfully. No matter when, the 2 deans will always be my teachers, and I will always be a disciple of Shrek Academy. The Shrek 7 Devils were stunned by the scene before them. They didn't know what Qin Ming's exact role was, but they clearly remembered seeing him at the other end of the spirit fighting platform. This person was evidently closely connected with the Emperor battle team, but from his words, could it be that? Flender raised his hand and patted Qin Ming's shoulder forcefully. You've been away from the academy for so many years, yet you're still so restrained. Come, let me introduce you. This is Grandmaster, and these 7 little monsters you saw on the spirit fighting platform. Qin Ming first respectfully saluted Grandmaster, performing a disciple's courtesy. Hello, Grandmaster. Grandmaster sidestepped, not accepting the courtesy, and said calmly, no need to be formal. Qin Ming was taken aback by Grandmaster's refusal to accept his courtesy. Flender laughed. You're his nephew's teacher, so in terms of seniority, you're his peer. He wouldn't accept your courtesy. Qin Ming looked at Flender in confusion, and Grandmaster's eyes showed a trace of displeasure, seemingly blaming Flender for revealing his background. Flender chuckled, We're all family, no need to keep secrets. Do I have to tell everyone that Yu Tianheng is your nephew? What? The Shrek Seven Devils almost exclaimed simultaneously. They never expected that Grandmaster was actually from the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan, known for their formidable offensive power. Grandmaster's face immediately darkened. You already told them. Flender, I've said many times that I have no connection with the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan anymore. Leaving these words, Grandmaster turned and walked out. Tang San wanted to follow his teacher, but Grandmaster raised his hand to stop him. You still have to calculate this month's spirit fight points. Go back with Flender. I have some matters to attend to. Watching Grandmaster leave, Tang San looked at Flender with some confusion, but he gradually understood. No wonder Grandmaster had shown a strange expression when mentioning the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan. It turned out he came from such a powerful spirit master family. In such a family, having a mutated spirit as weak as Sanpao, if it were him, he would probably feel the same. Flender sighed, I spoke too much. But it's okay, Xiaojiang is used to it. Qin Ming let out a long breath. I never thought that Grandmaster was Tianheng's uncle. Flender quickly regained his composure and said to the Shrek Seven Devils, You must be wondering why Qin Ming is here. It's simple, he was once one of you, a member of Shrek Academy, and one of the most outstanding students. He was the first batch of graduates. Mubai, Tang San, Xiaowu, the record you recently broke for the fastest to reach level 30 was held by Qin Ming. Qin Ming smiled slightly at the Shrek Seven Devils. Hello, juniors. Dean Flender, it seems Shrek Academy has developed even better. Zhao Wuji sighed. Better? These kids are the last batch of students for the academy. Qin Ming was startled. The academy's financial problems haven't been solved? He realized his mistake as soon as he spoke, looking at Flender with embarrassment. Flender sighed. That's the reality. Nothing to hide. We're tired too. As we get older, we've lost the drive we had when we were young. After these kids graduate, I think we can live our own lives. Qin Ming, the students you teach are all excellent, each one a talent. Qin Ming smiled wryly. It's not my teaching, but their talent and background. It's not me that attracts them, but what our academy offers. So you're teaching at an academy? Flender looked at him in surprise. Qin Ming nodded. Dean Flender, I'm teaching at Heaven Do Imperial Academy. The Emperor Battle Team's 7 members are the most outstanding students there. I brought them out this time for training, and also to visit Shrek Academy. I didn't expect to receive such a great gift from my juniors, just 2 days after arriving. Flender laughed. Seeing you, I felt assured about this spirit fight. All right, this isn't the place to talk. Let's go to our hotel and catch up. Qin Ming readily agreed, his gaze sweeping over the Shrek Seven Devils, his heart stirring. He clearly heard Flender's earlier words, and he knew the records he had set at Shrek Academy. These records had been broken by 3 of these children, indicating they were very young.